not surprised at all. It's who he is. It's who he is. I've always thought that he's a horrible person, and this is every bit of proof.
Baltimore boxing champion Gervonta Tank Davis faces new abuse claims from a woman who claims to be his ex-girlfriend.
Tank is done. Tank is hung him up, shoes off, get the bag, put a plaque up, he done.
Promotion November 14th, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis has officially been canceled. I know that we all speculated that it would be, and I was pretty much for sure that it would be canceled, but now we have official confirmation.
The boxing world has been thrown into complete turmoil after Leonard Ellerbe finally decided to break his silence regarding Gervonta Tank Davis's shocking arrest. The incident, which has shaken the sport to its core, immediately triggered the official cancellation of the highly anticipated showdown between Jake Paul and Tank Davis. What was hyped as one of the decade's biggest crossover events, combining mainstream celebrity influence with elite boxing talent, has now crumbled under the weight of yet another legal scandal surrounding Davis. Fans, promoters, and networks were left stunned as Tank's personal troubles once again disrupted a massively important moment in his career.
Or so, Most Valuable Promotions, the promotion co-founded by Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian, posted this on social media. They posted that they were officially canceling the fight, saying Most Valuable Promotions immediately initiated an investigation. No, I had the wrong one. Okay, I'm reading this one. Most Valuable Promotions and Netflix have announced that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, the one I was reading was the one from late last week, originally scheduled for Friday, November 14th at the Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida, will no longer be moving forward. Quote, our team has worked closely with all parties to navigate this situation responsibly, said Nikisa Badarian, CEO of MVP. While we will not be moving forward with this event, our plan remains for Jake Paul to headline an event on Netflix in 2025. And that is what I'm hearing as well. They want him to fight in December. That is the hope. And they're actively looking for a opponent. More on that in a moment. Details regarding a new date, location, Jake's opponent, and additional bouts will be shared as soon as they are finalized. We thank Netflix, Kaseya Center, Seminole Hard Rock, and
Ellerbe, a longtime promoter, the former CEO of Mayweather Promotions, and someone deeply involved in Davis's career, did not mince words. He declared that this situation had crossed well beyond the point of concern. His reported comments were blunt. Davis's latest legal entanglement doesn't just make the Paul fight unlikely, it makes it impossible. He emphasized that Tank's standing in the boxing world is now in serious jeopardy, with his career hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, quickly adapting to the chaos, Jake Paul's team wasted no time. Reports confirm that Paul's camp extended a formal offer to Ryan Garcia to step up and replace Davis as the headliner for the previously planned November 14th card. Sources claim Most Valuable Promotions, MVP, directly contacted Garcia to negotiate a potential December fight date. However, Garcia's own promotional team raised concerns about existing contractual obligations that could complicate the deal, leaving the situation unresolved and increasingly tense.
Wrong. So, as of today, November 2nd, this fight is still technically scheduled for November 14th to air on Netflix, but it's basically hanging on by a thread. But the team, Jake Paul's team, have reportedly gone and contacted all the fighters, and the names that they're looking at contacting to fight as a late replacement: Ryan Garcia, Terence Crawford, Francis Ngannou, come on, we'll get into them, and Nate Diaz. So he's already fought Nate Diaz, but let's go through them one by one. Ryan Garcia, he's a similar size to Gervonta Davis. He's bigger though. Davis made him come down, didn't he? Then he beat him up. So that was Ryan Garcia. Quite a bad loss for Garcia, that was, because he was up for the fight, but Gervonta Davis beat Garcia. Garcia also isn't really big enough to be jumping in with Jake Paul, but that's a fight that potentially could happen. Garcia is a massive name. He's a big he's a social media star. He's a big public figure. Loads of followers on Instagram and social. His Instagram's over 1 million, I'm sure it is.
Rolando "Rolly" Romero did not hold back when reacting to the cancellation of Paul versus Davis. Romero unleashed a fiery tirade, claiming the entire card fell apart because Jake Paul was more interested in chasing spectacle than facing legitimate, dangerous opponents. Rolly went as far as challenging Jake Paul himself, boldly saying he'd slap him around if they ever stepped into the ring. But Romero didn't stop there. He turned his criticism toward Ryan Garcia, accusing him of purposely avoiding their contractually required rematch. Romero labeled Garcia unreliable, calling him scared and dishonest for backing out, and insisted that fans are sick of empty talk. According to Romero, the boxing public wants fighters who actually follow through, not influencers and social media stars who pick and choose entertainment over honor.
I want to let everybody know I'm going to slap Jake Paul across his face because, well, first and foremost, man, I'm tired of this YouTube boxing stuff, man. I really am. I am more tired of this YouTube boxing stuff than everyone else, man. Oh, let's make this happen, bro. Bro, I'll be ready in a week. I'll be ready to slap Jake Paul across the face in a week. I will slap Jake Paul across his face. But who cares? I don't care. Roll over Jake Paul 2025, bro. I knocked out another YouTuber. I knocked out. Bro. Jake Paul gets knocked out.
Oscar de la Hoya, Garcia's promoter, stepped in to shut down the whirlwind of rumors suggesting Ryan Garcia might replace Gervonta Davis. He firmly stated that no such negotiations ever occurred and that if any talks of that scale were happening, he would personally be the one to announce them. De La Hoya clarified that Garcia has other priorities and fans should not expect a sudden crossover fight with Jake Paul. His statement effectively silenced the speculation and reminded the boxing community not to believe every rumor that spreads online.
Asking me about Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia. Let me just tell you why this fight is not going to happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia's probably going to rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No, you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN. You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced.
Most Valuable Promotions, the company behind Jake Paul, released an official update regarding refunds after the fight cancellation. They confirmed that fans who purchase tickets through authorized sellers such as Ticketmaster will receive automatic refunds within 14 to 21 days. However, those who bought tickets through resale platforms or secondary markets must contact their vendors directly, as automatic refunds may not apply. Beyond the refund logistics, MVP insiders revealed something massive. Francis Ngannou has emerged as the #1 candidate to replace Gervonta Davis in a blockbuster crossover bout against Jake Paul. Talks have reportedly begun, sparking excitement that the former UFC heavyweight champion, known for terrifying knockout power, could step into the spotlight and salvage the event.
Globally on DAZN. First off, I'll say kudos to MVP for refunding people that did buy tickets to this event and also navigating this thing with professionalism, which they did the entire way through. You got to give them credit for that. They really stayed quiet on the rumor front and just handled things as a professional company. That's all you can really ask for. Jake Paul has, in the last couple of hours, tweeted idiot, and then God has a plan always. Two things that I think are both referring to this fight. First off, calling Gervonta Davis an idiot, I assume, and then obviously, God has a plan always, referring to this thing is probably going to work itself out. Obviously, this video is dedicated to talking about future opponents for Jake and potential fight dates. I do have something that I don't know if it's misinformation or not, but I'm just going to talk about it here. This is a tweet from somebody named ATalkers5. I don't know how realistic this potentially even could be, but this is from 4 hours ago. They said 2 of the female bouts scheduled for Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis undercard are now scheduled for December.
Francis Ngannou, who stunned the world in his boxing debut against Tyson Fury and later faced Anthony Joshua, continues to draw huge pay-per-view audiences. Jake Paul's camp believes Ngannou's immense star power, physical dominance, and global fanbase make him the perfect replacement to reignite the event's hype. But Ngannou himself shot down the rumors almost immediately. Speaking publicly, he made it clear he would never accept a fight that felt like a gimmick or publicity stunt. After trading punches with world-class champions like Fury and Joshua, Ngannou said that fighting a YouTuber-turned-boxer would simply be disrespectful to his skills. He criticized the idea as sensationalized and unworthy of his professional standards, stating that combat sports must remain rooted in authenticity, not cheap viral moments. Fans praised his honesty and professionalism, agreeing that Ngannou versus Paul matchup would make little sense competitively or financially.
At all. And he said, yeah, Jake Paul, he's fighting. I'm like, no, bro, come on, don't disrespect me like that. And then they even say like, they even come out after and say, and what if the number are good? He sent out some number. I'm like, it's not about the number. If it was about the number, we could have started talk. I would have tell you, I'm not just interested. It makes no sense for me. It's not my what I'm looking at right now.
So there is no dollar amount. It's more the opponent. The fight makes no sense. They could offer you $100 million and you wouldn't be interested.
The fight made no sense. That's what I think. That's my position. And though I went back, I still,
Placement for Gervonta Davis. We had to go right to the source. What can you tell us? Is there any possibility that Francis Ngannou will step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul?
No, there's no such a thing happening. Basically, like how can they go from like Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? Like, Gervonta Davis is a fantastic boxer, but and is a one-shot knockout artist. But come on, like the weight different and everything, it make no sense. The Gervonta Davis, you count, you say, okay, the size different can level up. But at this point, for me to...
Amid the chaos, new reports have surfaced claiming Jake Paul may pivot toward yet another massive name, Floyd Mayweather Jr. Multiple outlets say Paul's team reached out to Mayweather about a potential showdown. But Mayweather himself remains unfazed, allegedly calling the matchup too easy and dismissing the possibility of it happening under any normal boxing terms. Although nothing official has been signed, even the rumor of Jake Paul versus Mayweather has injected another layer of madness into an already chaotic boxing landscape.
And then if you keep going, you see stuff like this going around, and he's not the only one. A possible replacement for Paul being Garcia. I've seen another article that said that they pitched to Mayweather. I've seen that one, and some other big names as well. And I'm pretty sure the people behind Paul got the bag because Paul draws the bag. So they can probably, if Floyd Mayweather commit to it, yeah, you get that money together because you know it's coming back in sales. You know it is. How old is Mayweather right now? It don't fucking matter. That bread is coming back. He's just a draw. The biggest, maybe, right? He might literally be the biggest boxing draw of all time. Floyd Mayweather. So I think that if this is true, that the fight is canceled, Jake Paul is going to end up with a significant...
On the Ariel Helwani show, analysts dissected how Gervonta Davis's ongoing legal issues have significantly damaged his public image and put his career at severe risk. Only 2 months after a previous case, yet another lawsuit has created what analysts described as a troubling pattern of behavior. Helwani's panel argued that these incidents have strained Davis's personal relationships and made major sponsors and networks, most notably Netflix, hesitant to move forward with big deals. Netflix, which had intended to stream Paul vs. Davis as its first major boxing broadcast, is reportedly reconsidering its involvement to avoid being pulled into controversy. With Davis's reputation crumbling, Jake Paul is facing pressure to secure a replacement opponent before the entire event collapses.
So, Most Valuable Promotions, the promotion co-founded by Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian, posted this on social media. They posted that they were officially canceling the fight, saying Most Valuable Promotions immediately initiated an investigation. No, I had the wrong one. Okay, I'm reading this one. Most Valuable Promotions and Netflix have announced that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, the one I was reading was the one from late last week, originally scheduled for Friday, November 14th at the Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida, will no longer be moving forward. Quote, our team has worked closely with all parties to navigate this situation responsibly, said Nikisa Badarian, CEO of MVP. While we will not be moving forward with this event, our plan remains for Jake Paul to headline an event on Netflix in 2025. And that is what I'm hearing as well. They want him to fight in December. That is the hope. And they're actively looking for a opponent. More on that in a moment. Details regarding a new date, location, Jake's opponent, and additional bouts will be shared as soon as they are finalized. We thank Netflix, Kaseya Center, Seminole Hard Rock and Hotel and Casino for their partnership. Then there's some information about, fans who purchased tickets. You can see all of this online. I did speak to Nikisa briefly, and I've seen some people say like, hey, and this was his take. Like, I asked him 2 questions basically, like, did this have anything to do with the ticket sales? He said this was going to be a very, very successful event for them financially. And the other thing was like, Tank Davis has a checkered past. He had a checkered past when this fight was made. What changed? Well, obviously 2 incidents, allegations, lawsuit. Since the fight was announced, they at the time felt like this was an opportunity for people to learn about who Tank Davis is, for him to show the world that he was a changed man, all this stuff and more. And that didn't happen, and they felt like they had to cancel the event. For the record, I feel like this was 100% the right call. You can't be a promotion that is so heavily invested in women's boxing and work with a guy who has allegations and lawsuits pending.
Several new reports indicate that promoters may pivot the now empty November 14th slot toward women's world title fights instead of a celebrity-headlined main event. The card's early promotional material already featured high-level women's bouts, including Alicia Baumgartner versus Layla Boudouin for the super featherweight titles. While nothing is confirmed, shifting the spotlight toward women's boxing could be a strategic move to preserve the event's momentum. At the same time, many boxing analysts accused Jake Paul of hypocrisy for publicly condemning Gervonta Davis over the lawsuit. They pointed out that Davis's case is civil, not criminal, meaning he has not been proven guilty of anything. Commentators also reminded viewers that Jake Paul himself has faced similar allegations in the past from an ex-girlfriend. They argued that Jake may be using this situation to distance himself from bad publicity rather than making a moral stand.
If I thought he did it twice, and we forgave him for that, and you got better, you seek help, and etc., I can, I forgive him for it.
Bruh.
How you know Jake Paul didn't know that?
Jake Paul knew.
Jake Paul 100%
September 19th, 2017, arrest warrant, first-degree assault. September 14th, 2018, arrested in Washington, D.C. February 1st, 2020, Davis arrested on domestic assault. March 22nd, 2021, indicted on 14 counts allegedly causing a serious crash. December 27th, 2022, days before a fight, arrested and jailed in Florida, domestic battery. July 11th, 25, taken into custody following a battery charge. October 31st, 25, Davis was involved in a civil fight with his girlfriend. Shut up, Jake Paul. You knew what you was doing.
He does not get this excuse whatsoever. Also, whenever you look at what Jake Paul has done since coming into the sport of boxing, he has been a champion for women in the sport. He has also been a champion of equal fighter pay and whatnot, right? All of these different things that he's done. He's gone to Dana White directly for trying to abolish the Muhammad Ali Act that helps out fighters get. He's gone to so many different people. He's an extremely knowledgeable person whenever it comes to the sport that he's hyper obsessed with, and turned his career from a Disney star and a YouTuber into a boxer. He knew about these issues already. Correct. He knew that this was a farcical fight in the first place. Yeah. This is a 7-weight class difference in real boxing. No, absolutely not. It should not have been a fight that was happening in the first place. But even then, after all of these things going on right now, Jake Paul to sit there and act as if you are all high and mighty, and that I don't want to give this dude a platform to earn money. You were more than happy doing it. And
ultimately, Gervonta Davis's latest arrest has not only shattered one of the most eagerly anticipated crossover fights in recent memory, it has exposed the fragile, unpredictable nature of hype-driven boxing. With Netflix pulling back, the Paul vs. Davis bout cancelled, and multiple opponents rejecting offers, the entire promotion is scrambling to recover. Jake Paul is determined to keep the show alive, but for Gervonta Davis, this scandal may mark the most damaging setback of his once promising career.
They feel the same way. It's an impossible spot to be in.
The only part I'd say is, like, you kind of know who this guy is ahead of time. Like, this is not exactly a shocking revelation. Like, Tank Davis is, this is not the first rodeo. But I do think it's too close to the fight to really be, messing around here. Like, you got to figure out a new solution.
And so there's been multiple reports regarding people that they've reached out to. Names like Ryan Garcia have been brought up. Terrence Crawford has been brought up. Francis Ngannou has been brought up. And Francis Ngannou spoke to TMZ today, and he did confirm that he was contacted And the quote was, "How can they go from Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? It makes no sense." He was like, quote, "We think about you to fight Jake." I'm like, what? Which Jake? Bro, come on, don't.
What do you think about everything that's happened? Was Jake Paul justified in pulling out after Davis's arrest, or is he simply using the situation as a clever PR strategy? Share your thoughts in the comments below.